Alright, I considered getting dressed up for this video, but I realized I didn't feel like it. So today I'm in my Abercrombie's finest. So last year I recorded a video called How to Have More Friends, I think. And today I want to flip that on its head and talk about how to have less friends, and specifically more quality friends. So right now, as you can see, I'm in quarantine and I just got back from San Francisco. And if you watched my San Francisco vlog, I talked briefly about how I was reflecting and introspecting about the people in my life and how, my gosh, they are such quality people. I have just come to realize that, gosh, the bar is so high for my friendships. If Emily is the standard, if Bethany is the standard, if Susan is the standard, like this A++ standard, I don't really have time for A- friends. If I can feel this good all the time, why do I want to choose to feel like just okay? Why do I want to feel like a B+ when I can feel like an A+? And I just had that revelation of, why isn't a higher percentage of the people in my life filled with those A+ people? Okay, so like normal, I'm not gonna be talking about my makeup at all. And if you see the video skip where like all of a sudden I have a full face of makeup on, sorry, that's just how these videos are filmed. And it might take me a while to like gather my thoughts. And if it takes me the entire time of me doing my makeup to get my thoughts together properly, that's just how it is. So I felt inspired to talk about this topic because I've been editing my SF footage, and I realized the way that I talked about this topic in that video might have made it seem like these A+ people are like incredibly rare. And not to say the names that I mentioned are not like gems, but I don't believe that finding A+ people should be difficult. I think if you have an open mind, there are A+ people everywhere you look. And I don't think they're the same for everyone. And the way I'm talking about this, like grading people, there's no standardized criteria. Everyone has their own rubric, and I think it's about who you vibe with. But one of the things that I've really learned in the last year or two is really just to pay attention to how you feel. So how do you know if somebody's going to be an A+ person in your life and in your book? Pay attention to how you feel. Are you excited to see them when you make plans with them? After you hang out with them, do you feel good? How do you feel? And I think for a long time I ignored how I felt about certain people because maybe I had known them for a long time, or like I had just established that friendship with them, so that's how I figured it was gonna have to be for the rest of my life. But I think far too many of us, myself included, pay attention to those artificial markers of, I've known this person for 10 years and we've said we're best friends, so we're best friends. Or this person and I have all the same friends. We have a friend group of like 6 people, and this is the friend group, and this is my life now. Like, are those friends serving you? If yes, congratulations. But I think that's just a very fixed mindset way of looking at things. And also, there's just so many great people out there in the world. Have you met them all? No. And this is why I say it shouldn't be hard to find those A+ people, because they are everywhere, but you just have to have an open mind and you have to make room for them in your life. Because if you have B+ people in your life, they are taking up room from somebody who could be an A+ person in your life, you know? That space can be allotted to somebody awesome. And it's nothing against that person specifically, it's just maybe your friendship has expired, you've moved on to a different season of your life. Like, that's totally okay. It's not personal against them, but if you want people who fill you up as you grow and change, then you have to let some people go. Whoa, this looks crazy with just one eye. Okay, so artificial markers, right? I actually have a great example of why artificial markers, and I'm going to talk about like the duration that you've known somebody, is a bad way to evaluate your friendships. So a great example is one of my best friends, Susan, who I feel like I've talked about a bunch. I met her in 2018. All right, I couldn't do my makeup and talk at the same time. I'm so bad at multitasking. My other eye is done. Okay, So I met Susan in 2018, like at work of all places. So I've known her for less than 5 years, which for a best friendship, I feel like is a pretty short amount of time, especially because I compare to like Bethany and Emily, who I've known for over a decade now, probably close to 20 years. Okay, not quite. But with Susan, gosh, I can't say enough good things about Susan. She is just such an angel. She's a huge, huge blessing in my life, but I had to make room for her. There are a lot of people throughout my life who I have called my best friend, and not that I didn't mean it at the time, and not that I don't acknowledge how important and vital they were in my life, but if I didn't let those people go, Susan wouldn't be able to have that place in my life. And I just can't even imagine my life if she had not walked in. And this is kind of dicey to talk about, but within the last 2 weeks, I actually had this conversation with both Bethany and Emily, acknowledging that, like, yes, we are best friends. I love them so, so much, but we never know what is going to happen in our lives as we grow and change. And if that means at some point 10, 20, 30 years or sooner down the line that we drift apart and maybe we're not as close as we are now, that's okay. I'll be really, really sad, but that's okay. And that is just a crazy conversation to have with your best friends, to just say, hey, you know, if we aren't as close as we are now in the future, that's life. I think when we're younger, especially when we're teenagers, we like to cling to this idea that we are gonna grow old together, we're gonna have kids at the same time, we'll be like the grannies in the care home with our wheelchairs, like causing shenanigans. I think there were like memes about that when we were kids, before memes were even a thing. But we are so young still. I'm 27. If you're around my age, we're so young still. If you're even younger, come on. How can we expect to have met all of the amazing people who are going to enter our lives at this age? My mom, who is 60 now, has within recent years met some people who she would call her closest friends and have added so much to her life. So if that is gonna happen in our 60s, how can you close yourself off to people when we're like 30? Anyways, I'm getting off topic. The point is, make room for people in your life. Make room for those A+ people in your life. And specifically, if there are people who do not fill you up, if there are people who are just like mediocre friends in your life, let them go. Good riddance. Okay, so I was actually feeling really riled up about this topic yesterday, and I filmed a short note to self just so that I could reference it, so I can re-say it in this video. But actually, I think I'm not gonna do that, and I will just play you that clip here. Okay, really quick, just note to myself before I forget what I want to say in my next video. I treat my life like I treat my home. I think very carefully about who I invite into my home, and should you behave disrespectfully or in a way that doesn't align with me inside my home, you are kindly invited to leave. Leave my home, leave my life. It's like that scene from WandaVision where Geraldine, aka Monica Rambeau, is kind of, I don't know what to say, disrespecting, but doing stuff that Wanda does not like. And Wanda just straight up freaking ejects her from her bubble. And obviously the parallels are not exactly there because, you know, Wanda was dealing with a lot of grief and, you know, Monica's just trying to help. And she didn't exactly make the most level-headed decision to eject her. But I will make a very level-headed decision, and I encourage anyone watching to make a very level-headed decision to just eject any disrespectful person from your home, from your life. Goodbye. Is that harsh? Probably. This is like, see, even I'm in my own head about it. This is like years of conditioning to be that nice, accommodating girl. I think as girls, as women, we're taught to be super nice and super accommodating, but that is like cool girl, pick me energy, which I have exhausted. All of that energy is gone. There's none left for the rest of my life, thank God. I have certainly been there, done that, which is fine. I learned from it, but now I am so much more discriminating about who I let into my life and my home. Okay, end note to self. Whew! Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the word eject, but I mean, raise your standards. Raise them to the sky. I've certainly been reminded recently of what the bar really is, and it's freaking high. And I know that I've said this a bunch of times, or I feel like I've said this a bunch of times, but there is an abundance of awesome people out there. There's no scarcity. There's no need for a scarcity mindset in terms of friends or in terms of just like awesome people in your life. They are out there. There are so many of them. You just got to make room for them. You have to have an open mind. You have to have space in your life. Create that space in your life. Leave room for the awesome people, because those good friends, those people you vibe with, the people who make you feel good, there are more of them out there. You have not met them all. Okay, once again, I've gotten way too carried away on this topic and neglected my makeup, so let me just continue. I'm so bad at multitasking. It's okay. This gives me an opportunity to think about if I've missed anything. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about my makeup, but look at how beautiful this blue is. Oh, love it. Oh my gosh, I'm doing everything so out of order. I'm not focused on my makeup. I do wonder if this phase and this revelation is just an age thing, because as you get older, you just realize you really only have so much time in the day. And so you have to choose wisely who you give your time and energy to. I guess I'll also say that if what I'm saying right now sounds harsh to you, or if it sounds scary, I totally understand. I totally feel you, because I've heard this message before and it didn't really sink in until recently. And so I know what it's like to feel scared to let go of friendships that you've placed a high importance on before. It's certainly not easy, but it's worth it. I remember hearing Emily go through this revelation maybe 2 or so years ago, and I was like, wow, I kind of resonate, but also that's scary and I don't have the courage to do that with any of my friendships. And now here I am. I have reached that revelation and it's great, but also everybody in their own time. It takes you however long it takes you, and there's no shame in that. And just on the topic of like ejecting people from your life, gosh, I'm like really backpedaling on that term right now. I don't think that it's ever actually that dramatic. You don't gotta Wanda eject somebody out of your life. Usually I feel like it's just hanging out with people less. Maybe you don't talk to them that much. Maybe you just opt out of hangouts. It's not actually, it doesn't have to be that dramatic. Oh, I love mascara. You can't even see it on camera, can you? I can see it, that's what's important. Literally no one else is gonna see this because I'm in quarantine. Oh my gosh, I've had this for so many years. This is never running out. I'm gonna have this for the rest of my life. Do you see how much is left in there? Oh, that shows up on camera. Best lip balm in the world. This guy. Okay, that's the video. I hope that you enjoyed, or that it resonated with you in some way, or that you were inspired by it. That would be the best. But yes, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, or in the DMs, or in real life. I hope you have a magical day. Like and subscribe. Bye!